Hi, my name is Emil Toth, and I've been an author roughly for about 20 years. Back in 1968, I received a book from a friend. It was about education, which basically changed my life. At that time, I started reading voraciously, uh, probably somewhere between 2 and 3 books a week for 2 years. And I tapered off after that and read about 2 or 3 books a month. Throughout these years, I attended some seminars. One of them was the Robert Monroe Institute, the other one was Civil Mind Control, and then I also took various courses and classes on healing modalities. One of them was healing touch, another was Reiki. I became a Reiki master. And then I also took pilgrimage healing and did healings at our church for a few years. Over the years, I created some support groups. One of them was for love, called the Love Group, and another one was a near-death experience support group. The other one was a Course in Miracles study group. And I attended various other support groups as well through those years. And I became a professional palm reader as well as a psychic, where I gave psychic readings for people. And through the years, I taught meditation, used various techniques that I taught people. And my first deep spiritual experience came in 1995. My second deep spiritual experience came in 1996. In 1998, I had a vision of my then unknown spiritual guru. And 2 or 3 months later, I went up to a dedication ceremony in Ganges, Michigan. And they dedicated a woman's ashram up there. And the nun who presided over the celebration and dedication was Bandhanama. She was the head of the Order of Nuns of Ramakrishna, based in Calcutta, India. During the lunch, I noticed Bandhanama left the group and went on about 100 feet away and sat down to be alone, basically. I asked one of the presiding swamis if it would be all right if I went to talk to her, because I had some questions I wanted to ask of her. He said, absolutely. So I went to her with all these questions in my mind because I had this vision of her. I knelt down in front of her, which was customary, looked into her eyes, and I just burst out sobbing. And I kept repeating over and over that I love you, I love you. My questions were forgotten. I got up after a few minutes and went back to my friend, Joyce, and she asked me, what was that all about? I said, I don't know. I said, I had all these questions. None of them came to the forefront once I got in front of her. Later that afternoon, we were inside the ashram and she was receiving people, and I had a chance to go back and ask her my questions. So I knelt down in front of her again. I looked into her eyes again. The questions were gone. And all I could do was tell her that I loved her and weep in front of her. I did that for a minute or two, and I got up and went back to Joyce. On the way back home in the car, she asked me, she said, well, what did you think of Bandhanama? I said, quite frankly, I think she's a saint. I said, I've never had these experiences with anybody else. And I felt her deep spirituality. Back in 1992 is when I really started to go into meditation very deeply. I started out with about 2 hours a day and ended up about 6 hours a day. And that was over the course of a half a year that I was unemployed. In 1999, Joyce and I went to India to hopefully be initiated by Bandhanama. And we were. And quite frankly, after I was initiated, I wanted to stay there with her. I again had a big, deep spiritual experience with her. Then when we came back to America, and in 2000, Joyce and I co-founded a spiritual center named Sacred Waters. I was the live-in caretaker, the director, and the facilitator for roughly 2 years there until I left 4 years after that and separated myself from the spiritual center. In 2002 is when I had my book published, and in 2003 I began to write my sequel to Love's Transformation. It was called Love Sacrifice. Each of the books that I've written in the Love series, 8 of them so far, and there'll be 10 all told, they have a theme based upon the title. And of course, within the books themselves, there's still all these heroic episodes and quests that the ladies who are the chief characters in the book go on. And they basically are very heroic in nature, trying to right the inequalities and injustices that women suffer. So I also have published 2 other novels that's in my Cross series, and I plan to publish 2 more in that series. So basically that's an overview of who I am and what I've done with my writing so far as an author. Thank you.